My name is Jeannie, and I'm a physical therapist with over 25 years of experience helping people to be able to move well, feel well, and be well. So today we are going to be talking about your glutes and the gluteal muscles, your badonkadonk, your apple bottom, your butte, whatever you want to call it, is a really important muscle. It's very important in helping to support the low back as well as your knees. Basically, if you have a really strong core and strong glutes, it's very helpful to be able to support your back and your knees. So what do you all think is the number one glute strengthening exercise? Just take a guess which one you think it is. Well, folks, you're going to have to wait until the end of this video to be able to find out the answer to that burning question. So we're going to talk about some of the most popular glute strengthening exercises, and we're going to play a little game. We're going to call it glute or boot. Meaning, do you all think that it is a good glute strengthening exercise with good form, or do you think that we're going to give it the boot because it's not really good form? So one of the most common exercises I see people do at the gym is a glute strengthening exercise where they're actually lying or getting themselves up on all fours and then kicking their legs out. So I'm going to perform the exercise the way I see many people do it, and you can let me know what you think of that exercise. So here we go. I am strengthening my glutes. What do you guys think about that form of this exercise? Are we going to give it a glute or are we going to give it a boot? Well, survey says we are going to give that one the big old boot. And a couple reasons why. One thing, whenever you're doing that exercise on all fours, we have to make sure that you stabilize your back. Very common compensation that people do is they arch their back to get their leg up, which is not going to help to strengthen the glute muscle. It's going to do a lot to strengthen those back extensors, but most times people are doing this to strengthen their glute muscles. The other common mistake that people make is they use their hamstring instead of their glute muscle. And if our intention is to really try to get that round butt and strengthen those glutes, we want to be activating the glute muscles, not the hamstrings. So what should we do? When you're on all fours, the very first thing you're going to do is kind of pull your abdominal muscles in. When you pull your abdominal muscles in, you help to stabilize your low back. And then the second thing to do, research shows that if you actually bend your leg first, you will shorten your hamstring. And by shortening your hamstring, it's not going to be as efficient, so then the glutes are going to have to kick in when you do the exercise. So if you're going to do the exercise on all fours, you're going to pull your abdominal muscles in, you're going to bend your leg, and then you're going to squeeze your glute up and down. And you'll see that your back has to stay stable the whole time as you're kicking that leg up to the ground. Or not ground, to the ceiling. And you're just going to go kick it back up and down. You can even hold it and squeeze it for a few seconds and then bring it back down. Now, for a lot of people, you still might be feeling this in your hamstring or in your back. So you might actually have to take it back down a level and start at the very beginning of how to get these glutes to fire. And one of the best exercises that you can do is being able to lie on your stomach on the edge of a table. Now, if you don't have a table, you can use an island in your kitchen. It's usually high enough. This is actually a little bit low, but I'll demonstrate on how to do this exercise anyways on this surface. If your bed is higher, you can do it on your bed as well. So you're going to get yourself on your stomach. Now, the benefit of lying on your stomach like this is your back is in a neutral position. It's not going to extend, so you can't cheat by using your back extensors. Then the same theory, you want to bend your leg first, so you kind of put the hamstrings shortened, and then you're going to think of squeezing those glutes as you lift your leg up. Now, another thing too is to pull those abdominal muscles in again, like you're putting on a pair of skinny jeans, and then bend that leg and just kick up. Really think of activating that glute muscle. So you want to squeeze that glute. You can even hold for a few seconds and then bring it back down. And where you should be feeling this is in your glute muscle, not your hamstring, not your back. So if you're feeling it in your hamstring or your back, reset pull your abdominal muscles in and really think of squeezing those glutes. Okay, so that's the first two exercises. Now, the next exercise we're going to talk about is bridging. A lot of people love to do bridges to strengthen their glutes, and it's fine to be able to do that. So I'm going to show you a bridge, and I want you to tell me if you guys think that this is a good glute exercise, so glute, or whether we're going to boot it out of the park. So we're going to lie down, and here we go. I'm going to do my bridges. What do you guys think of this bridge exercise? Do we think that this is a good bridge exercise or not? Well, survey says we're going to give it a big X. And the reason we're going to give it a big X is because where do I feel this? I actually feel this in my low back. You should never feel a bridge exercise in your low back. So to correct that, you don't want to be lifting your bottom up off of the bed by using your back. You want to use your butt cheeks to do that. The other thing that you can try, as we talked about again, another compensation, is people use their hamstrings. So I want you to put your toes up in the air, and when you lift up, I want you to think about pushing your heels away from you as opposed to pushing your heels down into the bed. That will help to quiet the hamstrings, which is what we want to do, because for this exercise, we're trying to strengthen our glute muscles, not our hamstrings. So again, you're going to pull your abdominal muscles in, keep that nice and tight. And then you're going to lift up by squeezing your glutes and pushing your heels away from you. Now, when you do that, you'll see I'm not going up as high, but I'm also not using my back to lift up. And you want to feel this in your glutes, and then you'll come back down. So again, pull those abdominal muscles in nice and tight. Have your feet so that they're not pushing down into the bed, but they're pushing away. And then you're going to squeeze your butt cheeks together, and you're going to lift up. Now, when you do your bridges, you can hold your bridge for 10 seconds if you like. You can put a ball between your knees so you work those hip adductors at the same time. When you get really good at it, if you want to do an advanced bridge, well, then you can actually, do it by lifting your leg up straight. You can do it by having one leg bent and the other leg doing your bridge like this. There's all sorts of different ways that you can do your bridges to make them more difficult. But you just have to make sure that you're not feeling it in your hamstring and that you're not feeling it in your back. Another way that you can do a bridge is off of a big TheraBall. Again, when you are on the TheraBall, you'll simply just walk yourself out onto the ball and do the same sort of thing. You're going to pull those abdominal muscles in, you're going to squeeze those butt cheeks, and then you can hold it for 10 seconds. So in this particular exercise, you are working your abdominal muscles and your glute muscles. You can hold it for 10 seconds, and then you can go back down. And we can do that again. And just make sure, again, that you're not doing that. You're not bringing your pelvis forward and arching your back, because then you're just going to be actually working your back extensors and not working your glute max muscles. Okay? So now we are down to the last two exercises for your glute strengthening. So now, the moment that you all have been waiting for, we are going to talk about the two best exercises to strengthen your glute muscles. What do you think they could be? Any ideas? All right, number two, the second best exercise is a single leg squat. So one of the other videos that I do is talking about proper squat mechanics. So you can refer to that for a more detailed explanation of how to squat properly. But I'm just going to show you the basics of how to do this single leg squat. So basically, when you do the squat, you want to make sure that the weight is through your heels, that you're hinging from your hip, and then you want to sit back like you're sitting in a chair, so that you can try to get the right angle when you do your squat. So you're going to just simply sit back like you're sitting in a chair, and then you're going to come back up and squeeze that glute as you come back up. The exercise is really effective on the way back up when you squeeze that glute. So again, you're angled, you're hinging from your hip, you're kind of sitting back, and then you're coming back up and squeezing that butt cheek when you rise back up. That's where the magic happens. You squeeze that glute as you're coming back up, and that's one of the most effective exercises. The single best exercise through EMG studies for activating your glute muscles is the single leg deadlift. Unfortunately, most people do deadlifts improperly and they end up hurting their back when they're doing it. The reason why we're doing single leg as opposed to double leg is because then it really focuses on that one leg and it doesn't let your more dominant leg take over. So when you're doing a single leg deadlift, I really suggest in the beginning that you kind of do it so that you can hold on to something just to work your balance. A lot of people have trouble with balance when they're doing a single leg deadlift. So pick your leg. So in this example, I'm going to be using my left glute muscle to do the single leg deadlift. But basically you're going to be leaning forward. Again, we're hinging from our hip. You're coming forward. You keep that leg that you're standing on straight. You go as far as you can go, and then you come back up. Again, as you come back up and through, that is where the magic happens. You are squeezing your glute, and that is how you're going to strengthen it. Again, you're going to lean forward, keep that leg straight, hinge from that hip, go all the way down, and then come back up and use that glute. Now, when you get really good at it, and I'm not very good at it, so bear with me here, you can actually then take your opposite hand, and as you go down, you can actually touch the inside of that foot, and then you're going to come back up. For those of us who have tight hamstrings, like myself, you're not going to be able to get all the way down to your foot, but that's what you're trying to do. The most important point when you do that single leg deadlift is that your legs stay straight and that you do not bend from your back. You hinge from your hips. So there you have it, folks. We've got a lot of great glute strengthening exercise. Again, all 4 leg kicks, off of the edge of the table leg kicks, bridges of all different sorts, single leg squat, and the single leg deadlift. So hopefully you will get out there and be able to strengthen these glutes. If you're new to this channel, just remember to subscribe so that you can get interesting information every Friday. I'll be releasing a new video on different topics that interest you. And of course, you got to let me know what you would like to be covered so that I can help you along your path and your journey to wellness. So thanks again for tuning in, and just remember to keep moving and grooving. I'll see you guys next Friday.